Yo guys, welcome back to the Uncle Sharma channel, here to review our 2-0 victory over Genoa. Not the most entertaining match, man. That was like watching paint dry. Like, it was so dead, especially that first half. You start to question, like, why do I do this to myself? Like, why do I spend a Saturday evening or Saturday morning, wherever you are, punishing myself watching this team, when especially when we play like this, is just so dead, man. Like, it was so annoying to watch, the style of play, especially recently under Conte, 12 million net a year, and we play this dead football, long ball up to Lukaku, just lump it up, hope he does something. Lukaku, inshallah. The first half we had about 9 crosses, I believe, or we had a crazy amount of crosses, and we only completed like a few really bad, no end product. Lineup when it came out, it wasn't too bad. Ranocchia stepping in. Some people were obviously when you see Ranocchia on the starting sheet for Inter, it makes you tremble. But De Vrij does need some rest, and Ranocchia, when these lower teams, I'm happy to play him. And today he was actually one of our best players, I would say. Didn't put a foot wrong. Obviously, Genoa hardly ever troubled him. One shot Genoa had all match, and it was Goran Pandev from like 30 yards out, and it wasn't even on target. So, defensively, Ranocchia, D'Ambrosio, Bastoni coming back as well from the starting lineup. So that's good to see him back. Defensively, we didn't give him anything. There was not much difference in terms of, the balance. We're still quite pressing high up, but our pressing was a lot better. I saw us winning the ball back from the defenders a few times, which hasn't been happening recently. Lukaku and Lautaro's pressing was much better. Brozovic as well was helping them a lot. Eriksen was pretty decent again. Another 2 matches in a row that he started, and 2 good showings for me. He had 2 great passes. The one to Darmian was just perfect, but Darmian just didn't have he chested it down, but he didn't take it towards goal. And then there was another ball to Lautaro, which didn't work out to anything. And then in the second half, he always has this thing, he always just drops off, and obviously he doesn't have the grinta about him. And Conte, around the 60th minute, I believe, he took him off for Barella, which you could see why. The match needed something to wake it up, like, it needs something, and Barella was that spark. As soon as he came on, you could see already, his running is always more intense, his pressing is much better, and ended up getting the assist for Lukaku's goal. And Lukaku, my man of the match once again. This guy is carrying this team on his big back, because this guy, as I said, we lump the ball up to him, hoping he does something. A lot of times, the defenders get it from him, but the few good things that we do come from Lukaku. In the 90th minute as well, I saw him sprinting back to cover the left wing back position. Like, this guy, just all we can do is just clap, because this guy is playing every single minute as well. He's got 0 rest. He played for Belgium as well, all through the international break. Somehow, we just have to pray that this guy does not get injured, because he's so vital to this team. It's almost, I don't like how we over rely on him now. It's, everything has to go through Lukaku now. Last season I felt like there was a bit more variety in terms of play going through Lautaro, but Lautaro stank up the pitch today. There's no other way to say it. As Lukaku was carrying the team, Lautaro was bringing the team down. The usual annoyances we have with him, but there was like ×2 today, falling over at important moments, little fouls, just poor shooting. And then he looked really pissed off when he came off. He's punching up the bench like a madman. But I'm hoping it was more him being annoyed at himself rather than being annoyed for being substituted, because he deserved to be subbed. Pinamonti finally getting some time. He looked okay, but at the moment, especially with Sanchez out, we need to start to integrate Pinamonti, even though if Conte does not want him, ideally he's not the player that we needed to back up Lukaku. But we have to make do, and this was the team that he played for last season, and he was okay, and hopefully he gets a few more minutes. Hopefully he comes on for Lukaku in future games where we're winning, so Lukaku gets a little bit of rest. Brozovic, Vidal, the midfield pivot, Vidal once again, another good showing on the ball. This guy barely makes a wrong decision. Maybe not as creative or as risk-taking as he was in previous matches, but Genoa pretty much parked the bus. When we play 3-5-2, or Genoa were playing 3-5-2, which is basically the 3-4-1-2 we play, so they can mirror us, match us up, and they were sat back, and they were basically playing 5 at the back, 5-3-2. So it's very difficult to get space. But in that second half, soon when we got the goal, spaces started to open up. Darmian, once again, another good showing. Must point that out. And then he was good also on the left wing back position, much better than Perisic. You know, Perisic, and he took a step back. You know, against Gladbach, I thought he made a few steps forward, but today he was very poor in that position at left wing back. You know, I feel like, you know, hopefully Ashley Young, you know, has tested negative finally to COVID, so he should be able to come back in the next match against Shakhtar. And he should be the starting left wing back. You know, Perisic is not a left wing back. The experiment is not really working out. Darmian looked better out there. Hakimi came back. The surprise, you know, the COVID test seemed like it was a false positive. So he was back in the lineup. It came on the second half as a substitute. It was okay. You know, he struggled to get into the game, but you know, good to get some minutes for him as well. Nainggolan came on in the CAM position as well towards the end. Barella moved back afterwards, and you know, he had 10 minutes here and there. You know, the match was already dead. Genoa weren't trying much, but you know, much good to see him back as well from COVID. He'll be important to have as an option from the bench. Brozovic, up and down match a little bit. I definitely saw an improvement from his previous matches. You know, I keep saying, especially, I don't want to see him anywhere outside the CDM position, but it was an improved showing from Brozovic, and he ran his heart out today. I need to have a look at his running stats actually. I'm pretty sure he must have had the most kilometers covered, back to peak Brozovic type of performances, and he had the most touches on the pitch, I believe 120 or something, so he was involved a lot. But yeah, overall, you know, can't complain, 3 points, but you know, the team needs to start showing something else. You know, Conte needs to start working on other things other than lumping the ball to Lukaku. 3 points, that's all that matters. Going into the next match against Shakhtar, very important. And then afterwards we've got Parma in the league, and then we've got Real Madrid. So very busy period. It's important that we rotate. Hopefully Sensi comes back from his injury. The wind was blowing too hard the other day, I heard, so he got injured. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. My man of the match was Lukaku. Who was yours? Thoughts on Eriksen once again. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you. Ciao.